everything is marketing. Like things get marketed that way. Like I was even having a conversation. Like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. He's my GOAT. But he was marketed that way.
Correct.
Because in the 80s.
Oh, you're getting into a deep one right now.
Yeah, in the 80s, before Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, there was no the greatest of all time wasn't even a conversation. That wasn't even a thing. They did that like
you just hooped.
You just hooped. He was a great hooper. You know what I mean? Larry and Magic came. They changed the game. Then Mike came, and he was the first one where he had the league's attention. Everybody was focused on him, and he was marketed as the GOAT. I want to be like Mike, drinking the Gatorade, the sponsorships, and all.
Yeah, yep.
Like he was the first one to have companies. He'd be in bed with companies. So it's like now we look at him how we look at him. That's not to take away from his skill at all, because he's definitely one of the greatest players, if not the greatest to ever do it. But he was marketed that way. It's just like anything bad, like the court of public opinion is real, dog. Like we look at certain people bad and we don't even know why.
Well, I'm glad you just said that, right? Because how much do you think it was a benefit? Because let's go into the MJ LeBron comparison.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna remove Kobe. Kobe's my GOAT, guys. So we're not even going. You know what I mean? Kobe's my GOAT, and there's a whole bunch of other intangibles besides basketball. Why that is for me. So I'm not gonna argue people. But let's go into the MJ LeBron debate, right? And one of the things I always talk about with folks is, like you said, the marketing was set up in a way, it was just a perfect storm where you got the Gatorade. You were the first to push the envelope with the sneakers the way you did, with the Nike deal and everything that was going on. So being the pioneer is great, but you also didn't have a time where you had the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
As vocal as it is, and how we can talk to each other the way we can now, which leaves more scrutiny. I wonder if back in that day, if we ever had social media back then, how much scrutiny we actually would see from people that would be counter to
it would
the
be
news
crazy.
narrative.
Like it would be crazy. Like even let's take Mike. Him gambling.
Correct.
Now, and if he was on Twitter, Instagram, you know how many Instagrams there would have been of him at motherfucking Foxwoods or whatever. He's got a gambling problem. Or when it's pop, you want to talk about rumor mill? Imagine if Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok was around when Michael Jordan's father
that's
died.
a fact. That's a fact.
You know how many rumors of it? He got killed because of this. He got killed because he didn't gamble this. Like, so a lot of them guys, especially Mike, a lot of them guys back then from an image standpoint benefited because of there was no social media. Now, like, you can't even have a private moment.
This is why I give LeBron so much credit.
For sure.
Because the craziest thing we can talk about is the decision.
Yeah. And
that's it?
And him flopping. That's it.
Yeah. He's a flopper.
That's all. But who gives a fuck? Like, when you put that in the grand scheme of shit, it's like, who cares, nigga? He played on the team with his friends. When you really look at that, right? What did he do? He realized, oh, this shit's a business. They don't give a fuck about me. I might as well run up a couple championships with my niggas.
It's even more fire about how, like, he brought up a lot of his peoples around him. He paid for his peoples around him to go to school, and then he employed them to be on his team to help him build out that empire.
Yeah.
So sometimes I look at those situations, and we talk basketball a lot, and I understand the conversations around basketball for sure. But I think, like, as a person that I've seen in my lifetime,
he's definitely the greatest.
He's like a GOAT person.
He's the greatest. I would say he's probably the greatest person I ever seen as far in the NBA. Like, he don't have no scandal. Everybody's
good. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's encouraging his kids. You know what I'm saying? People be tripping because he might go to his kid's game and they're like, oh, he's a distraction. I'm like, he's a father.
Yeah, like what are you talking about?
Like, I'm supposed to be at my kid's games.
He's going to the game.
So,
man.
but this is another thing when I talk about too, where, like, I think the unspoken thing is like there's a lot of the community that are in love with the MJ thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they just will try to hang on to anything to knock LeBron off that horse, right? But we cannot deny that we're seeing something that we've never seen. I just watched his game against the Timberwolves. Yeah, they lost, but, like, LeBron is out there balling. It almost makes it embarrassing for all the other guys on the team.
He's 40 years old doing that.
It's 40. Ridiculous. He's still flying around. My man went down the lane and just yammed it on them like it was year one.
Yeah. He's full sprinting up and down the court, doing chase down blocks and all that.
He's a freak.
He's a freak.
And like,
freak of nature.
I think that we need to appreciate this freak. Like, I'm not, listen, and that's another thing too, because like, I also don't like how the conversation gets here too, because these are two black men. And well, all of them really, you know, most of these guys, and we gotta like, I think that there's room to appreciate everybody for what they are.
Yeah, that's another thing that we do, where it's like it can only be one.
Yeah,
it's like that's not
Highlander nigga.
That's not true. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they do that Highlander shit. It could only be one.
Yeah,
like dog. People are good at what they good at. Like LeBron can be in the same space as Jordan. He could be Jordan. If you like, you can like Kobe and Mike. You can like Kobe and LeBron. You can like Kobe. Like you can walk and chew gum out here. Like you can't like. I think that we get caught up in that. Like that's a part of the scheme too. Like yo, it can only be one. Like I think that a lot of these things that we do and we don't realize the play at hand.